Yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here with the part 3 of What If Naruto Was Trained by Itachi. I really know I should be doing the What If Naruto at Thor's Hammer because I haven't done a part to that in a while, but I don't know, this What If I've just been thinking about it, so I don't know, probably next time, Thor's Hammer, so hope you guys enjoy it and let's begin. So Team 7 had just completed their first C-rank mission, which was to guard a bridge builder named Tazuna. So they're walking back to the village and it was pretty quiet between the team, and Sasuke turned to Naruto and whispered to him, yo, whatever ability that was, you gotta teach me that. Naruto just smiles, then the four start, within another hour they're back at the village. And the ability he's talking about, Amaterasu from the last part. Also, someone in the comments was being so thirsty for the female Sasuke ship, so hey, that's what we're doing. So once they went to the Hokage's office, to collect their rewards for the mission, Naruto along with Sasuke went to the training ground A to begin training for the next mission. After they finished for that day, female Sasuke, who I'll be naming Sasumi, yeah, that sounds good, was really tired from all the training because Naruto didn't want her, Naruto wanted her to be as strong as possible. One, because of Itachi, that was basically his last words to Naruto, and because he won't always be there to protect her, so she wants her to have her own strength. So, yeah, but Naruto keeps this to himself. So Sasumi was tired, and because the Uchiha compound was basically on the opposite side of the village, her and Naruto agreed that she'll just spend the night at his place. Then the two were walking towards his house and decided to stop at Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto walks in, helping Sasumi, stand because she is tired. And Teiuchi's face lit up. He's like, oh, our #1 customer. Glad to see you back in the village, Naruto. Naruto and Sasumi, wave and take a seat. And Ayame, Teiuchi's daughter, commented on how good they would look as a couple and began laughing while Sasumi went bright red and sank her face into the bowl of ramen Teiuchi just handed back to her. While Naruto just remained stone-faced and just glancing at Sasumi to see, what her reaction was. And, he saw her become bright red, which gave him some hints, but he didn't want to, reading the wrong signals, because I know some of you out there, your crush bumps into you on accident and you think, oh my god, she likes me. Psych! So the two eat their ramen in silence. Then once they finish up, they head to Naruto's house, and since it was already night, there weren't too many villagers around. So Naruto wouldn't have to worry about, them throwing trash at him or something. So they arrive at Naruto's place, and Sasumi was surprised because it was, it was small but really clean, and everything was organized, just like her older brother who was like a germaphobe. So she smiled, then watched Naruto roll out a sleeping bag, and he said she could have the bed. She tries arguing, saying, it's his bed, but Naruto shuts her down. But not wanting to give up, she thinks of something else. Then, while blushing, she says, well, we can share it, because I'm not letting you sleep on the floor of your own house. Naruto slightly blushes, catching Sasumi off guard because this guy's always, the stern one. He never shows emotion. But yeah, he says sure, and by the way, they're 16 right now, just saying, nothing's gonna happen. I just want to clarify. So they sleep together pretty awkwardly. Naruto to the far right of the bed and Sasumi to the far left, and somehow they managed to fall asleep because they were basically hanging off the side of the bed. So Naruto wakes up and he's all groggy from being, from just waking up. He's still kind of tired, and he feels something soft. Thinking it's a pillow, he lays on it before realizing there's two, and just puts his head between them. And 5 minutes go by, and Naruto is woken up by a punch to his head. and Sasumi holding her chest area and runs out, calling Naruto a pervert and throwing a pillow in his face. She slams his front door and Naruto's just lying on the floor like, what? No, he's still tired and honestly just confused, and laid there for a good hour before realizing he has to meet Kakashi in a few minutes. He rushes on and puts on his gear, which I'll put up a picture, what he looks like on screen. So, Itachi's student got to have some drip, Naruto. He's looking pretty good. So he rushes out, a piece of bread still in his mouth, and he meets up with his team at Training Ground B. And Sako was trying to talk to Sasumi, who still had her hands folded and was looking down. Naruto tries talking to them, but Sakura just, blocks his path, saying, "Hey, you did this, didn't you?" Naruto's like, "What? What did I do? I didn't do anything." Sakura was about to say something else, but Sasumi just grabbed her shoulder, saying it's fine, and, Kakashi Sensei is coming. So yeah, Kakashi appears and tells the team about the Chunin exams. And, I don't see why they wouldn't say no, so they all agree to participate and Kakashi leaves. Naruto goes up to Sasumi asking if she, wants to go train, in preparation for the Chunin exams. And, she's still a bit uncomfortable, but says sure because Naruto is one of the strongest person she knows, so she tries not to think about what happened. So, time skip 3 weeks later at the Chunin exams. During this time, Naruto was just training with Sasumi, teaching her more fire-style jutsu and everything he knows on genjutsu. So that happens, and I'll say Sakura, she sees them and she asks to be trained as well. So Sakura isn't completely useless. So they enter the building for the first part of the Chunin exams, and they can barely get in because of this massive crowd blocking the entrance. Naruto and Sasumi easily see through the genjutsu and just walk past everyone without telling anyone anything. And this actually caught the attention of Neji, who knew about the genjutsu but was just sticking around to see if anyone would realize. So Team 9, aka Neji's team, follows behind Team 7 as they go up the stairs to the actual entrance. And as they were about to enter, Lee walks up to Naruto. And Lee walks up, demanding they fight them because he wants to see how strong the rookie of, the year really is. Naruto smirks. "So you have chosen death." And, he gladly accepts. And instead of Lee saying it, Naruto says, "Hey, I'll even fight you only using taijutsu." And Lee was going to say it, but Naruto saying it just ticked him off. He's looking down at him. Yeah, I'll fight you. I'll even use your specialty. So that, if someone said that to me, I'd feel away. So as a fight starts, Lee immediately goes on the offensive, hitting Naruto with combo after combo, but they didn't seem to affect him. They didn't even seem to connect. Actually, his fist goes right through him, and he's still in the heat of battle, and Lee goes for a leaf hurricane to Naruto's head, and again it just went right through him. Lee realizes Naruto hasn't even moved a muscle, and then Naruto turned around and looked Lee straight in the eyes, and it was as if Lee woke up from a bad dream. He was already on the floor or something, and he was severely bruised, and Tenten ran up to him saying, "Lee, are you okay?" He says in a weak voice, "What happened?" Tenten explains that when the match started, Lee was just standing there doing nothing, and he just took the hits from Naruto. So to explain for those who don't understand, Naruto put Lee under a genjutsu, making him think he was still fighting. So Lee groans, and he just put him under a genjutsu. So Lee groans, he's like, "Oh," and he struggles getting up. And Naruto extends his hand, he brings him up, And he looks Lee in the eyes and says, you know what, you're not half bad. You just need to train harder, and maybe you'll beat me next time. This just lit a flame in Lee's heart. Yeah, heart. It just lit a flame in Lee's soul, and he's like, yes, I need to be stronger. You know, who cares about Neji? That guy's weak. Like, this guy is a real deal. So they go into the room with all the other ninjas, and everyone's staring Team 7 down. You know, they don't really get affected by it, except like Sakura. So yeah, that happens. Kabuto does his same card spinning thing. I don't know who he looks up, but just some random people he looks up. And yeah, so Ibiki comes in, they do the exams, and Naruto does the same thing as Sasuke, uses his Sharingan to copy people's movements off the pencil. So he aces that, and next is the Forest of Death. So yeah, Naruto passes and Uncle flies in through the window, breaking it. You know, some shards landing on Ibiki, you know, pissing him off. He's like, can you like take the door, like be a normal person for once? And Uncle is just filled with spirit. He's like, you kids, to the like Forest of Death now. And then Ibiki's like, but are we gonna do something about to the Forest of Death? And he's like, okay. So everyone goes to the Forest of Death. You know, she does her explaining of the whole thing, you know, about the scrolls and like you can die. And some people are like, we can die? Like, I signed up for this ninja stuff. I thought it was cool. I don't want to die. You know, Uncle was just like cracking up because some of the worried looks on these kids' face. So yeah, and you know, she sees a guy in the back. You know, he looks like a killer. He looks like he knows what he's doing. And Uncle is like, this year might be interesting. And then she's like, hey, kid in the back, what's your name? And he's like, my name's Naruto Uzumaki. And he's like, Uncle is like, oh, Naruto, okay, think fast. And she throws a kunai at him, and Naruto just catches it with 2 fingers. She's like, okay, you have some skills, okay. You know, you aren't completely hopeless. So she hands out the scrolls, everyone signs the waiver of death. Some people are still apprehensive, like, I thought this stuff was cool. Like, I don't want to die. So yeah, some people do it, some people just drop out. And he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to die, cuz. So yeah, and you know, they enter the Forest of Death. And Team 7, you know, Naruto and Sasami had some sensory type moves. You know, they can sense people-ish. So after searching around for like about 2 hours, they finally find a team. And it was just some filler characters, no one really special. They pieced them up real quick, take their scrolls, same scroll they need, and they start heading to the middle of the forest. No, it's night by this time, so they decide to, you know, lay low and, you know, camp it out. And while they were, you know, getting ready to sleep, they hear a snake. They hear something slithering. And Naruto looks up and sees a white snake, you know, trying to bite Sasuke. He tries grabbing the snake, but it ends up biting Sasuke. You know, he's screaming in pain. Naruto drags the snake, and when he does, it just poofs into smoke. Naruto's like, what? And, you know, Sasuke is there thriving in pain. He's like, wait, no, Sasumi, yeah. Sasumi is like, it hurts. I can't do girl voices. But yeah, she's screaming in pain, and Naruto's like he can't do anything. So even though he's tired, he grabs Sasumi, and Sakura is just following behind, and they head straight for the mansion. And you know, they burst in and they open the scrolls, and Kakashi comes out. Naruto gives Sasumi to Kakashi, and he's like, please help her. Like, he's like sweating at this point. Like, he's tired, worried, like so many emotions are going through this guy's head. So Kakashi's like, oh, you guys finished that fast. And Naruto's like, no, take her. He's like, okay, chill. Like, so he takes her to the hospital, and it wears off after a minute. Well, not a minute, but it wears off after a while. and she comes back just in time for the preliminary exams. And Kakashi still seals it because he knows that this is, the curse mark. And he also tells Hiruzen, to be on the lookout, like get some ninjas, out guarding, because this is the work of Orochimaru. No, Hiruzen is like, damn, I thought I got rid of that guy. He's like, all right, guess I'd have to, finish the deed. So that happens, and it's the preliminary exams. I'd say these fights go basically to canon, and Naruto pieces up Kiba, give him a 1-2, pretty easy. Kiba doesn't stand a chance. Naruto doesn't even have to use chakra, bruh. This guy's that weak. So Kiba gets absolutely embarrassed, and the third round opponents get announced. It's the same as canon. Naruto versus what's his name, Neji. Naruto versus Neji, and all the other fights. So they have their 1 month to train, and Naruto, Naruto is chilling with Sasumi, and they're just walking around, and they see, this guy with white hair peeking into the ladies' bathroom. Naruto is like, oh, I hate these type of guys. He cracks his fingers, and then he runs up and tries hitting him, and the guy just turns around and punches Naruto back. Naruto's like, oh, this guy is stronger than I expected. And then Jiraiya sees this kid, and he's like, Naruto? And Naruto's like, how do you know my name? It's like, Naruto, like I'm your godfather. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, like, oh, and he almost slipped up. He's like, yeah, I knew Minato. Like he almost slipped up saying that. But yeah, he catches himself. Then he's like, yeah, let's go to Hiruzen. Like he'll, explain everything to you. So Naruto, tells Sasumi like he has to, go. This guy says he's his godfather. She says it's all right, and they head to Hiruzen's office, and Hiruzen, explains that, yeah, this is his godfather, and he actually came to the village to train him, even though it wasn't the original reason. But yeah, it was mainly because of Orochimaru. But yeah, he says, yeah, he came all the way back to the village just to train you. Naruto's like, okay. And, he can tell that this guy is strong because he blocked his punch. So the month goes on, and Naruto learns the Rasengan and, summoning. So he learns the summoning and summoning jutsu and Rasengan within a week, and this surprised Jiraiya. He was like, oh, this kid learns pretty fast. So yeah, that happens, and the whole thing with Naruto having to stay on, the Toad's head, that happens, but with relative ease. So yeah, and the month is up. Naruto has amassed a few more fire style jutsu and lightning style jutsu. So he's ready for the third rounds of the Chunin exams. So Naruto is walking underneath the stadiums and walked past Gaara's team. He could just sense the bloodlust just seeping out of Gaara. He activates his Sharingan and does the same thing Sasuke did to Naruto when he entered his mindscape. So Naruto entered Gaara's mindscape and began looking around. It was just a dark, endless abyss, and he saw something he just saw something. He started walking towards it, and it began making weird noises. He got even closer, and as he reached out to touch it, a baby Gaara turned around, his face contorted, and Naruto got a bit frightened and stepped back and bumped into a large creature. He looked up, seeing a massive Shikaku. It raised its hand, going to punch Naruto. Get out! And punched Naruto. He was shocked in the real world, and his blood ran cold. Sasumi looking at him, asking if it was alright. Naruto's sweat dropped. He looks back at Gaara, and he looks at him, his demonic eyes, and Naruto is like, yeah, I'm all right. So nothing really changes about the fights. Naruto absolutely decimates Neji. He activates his three tomoe, like just speed blitzing Neji, getting around his absolute defense, which is, his rotation, and beating Neji pretty easily. Everyone seeing this was like, Naruto is this strong. And because they know Neji as, the most powerful, like Genin, maybe even Chunin. So yeah, they were pretty shocked. So that happens, and Sasami versus Gaara. Naruto says, this fight Naruto is watching intently because he's ready to step in at any moment because Gaara kind of freaked him out. So he looks... So the fights happen and it goes to canon, but Sasumi actually defeats the half transformed version of Gaara. She beats him into submission, causing him to pass out, but this causes him to turn into a full Shikaku, and this launched the Konoha Crush. Orochimaru began fighting Orochimaru began fighting Hiruzen, and that goes to canon until Shikaku was breaking through the walls of the stadium, and the Ambu actually surrounded him and did a 4-barrier seal, trapping him so he doesn't destroy any more of the village. Naruto asks to be let into the barrier. They're like, kid, you're not gonna do anything. And Naruto just flashes his Sharingan and he's like, go ahead, be my guest. So he goes in and he does a lightning style electric circuit, electrocuting the entire floor of the barrier, causing the Shikaku to fall onto his knees, cause it disrupted the sand off his foot, so it fell onto his knees, and it was low enough for Naruto to run along the walls and punch Gaara in the face, waking him up. So Gaara, falls into a pile of sand, and Naruto, helps him up, and Gaara is like, why are you helping me? Naruto's like, I was in a similar place as you, wanting to kill everyone, wanting to just get rid of everyone, the entire world, but look at me now. I have some friends, and I have a lot of people I look up to and even love in this village. And Gaara says, you're just like me, talking about their Jinchuriki. And Naruto says, he says, yeah, and takes him to, oh shoot, Hiruzen is dead. Yeah, cause that fight goes to canon. So he just takes him to his siblings, and that's pretty much how the Konoha Crush goes. So yeah, and that's where I'm going to be leaving this one off. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you really like the video, you can like it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.